Good morning and welcome to a Facebook Live with the Environmental Learning Centers of Connecticut. My name is Lauren and this morning we are on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve, right on our south shore, the south shore of our Indian Lake here. A lot better looking than it did on Tuesday. Just weather-wise, it's a lot sunnier, a little breezy. But what we're going to be taking a look at is we're going to be continuing to look at some of the sights and sounds on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve. So I'm down here next to Indian Lake because a lot of the sights and sounds of spring have to do with the spring birds that have been returning for spring, whether they're just becoming more active again, if they stuck around all winter, or if they've started to migrate back. So we are outside here on top of a big hill on a nature preserve, so bear with me if the internet goes in and out. But springtime, it's a great time for birding. We're kind of making our way through spring here, so the trees are starting to bud out. We don't have full coverage yet. So as we're kind of halfway through spring here, it's a great time to practice those birding skills, because when we look up at the trees aren't totally covered yet. So there's openings in the trees. You can physically see birds flying like we do right now over there. We can hear the birds a little bit easier as the calls aren't blocked or muffled by the leaves. And we can spot nests easily, like a little, and this, we're kind of standing next to a birch tree here, and we have a nest right in the tree there. We'll get a little bit of a closer look. So just visually, it's a little bit better. So spring is a great time to practice those birding skills. And we hear a lot of our birds have returned. But one bird that I wanted to kind of spotlight this morning that kind of takes up space on the Indian Lake here, on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve. They like to hang out in fresh marshes, they'll hang out in salt marshes, waterways, fields. They really like the cattails and skunk cabbage areas that we have, but they're the red-winged blackbirds. And when you go birding, some things that you might want to... Oh, there's the red-winged blackbird. We can hear them. And I see one in this tree that's starting to bloom up. I'll try and zoom in the best I can on my phone, but there is one in the tree with the red buds. So that's a male. Hard to see on the phone, but he is kind of that black blur. And that's the one calling. So birding's a little bit hard to do on the phone, but when you're birding in person, you can think of some materials that you want to bring with you. And some materials, of course, are your binoculars. If you have binoculars, you don't need binoculars, but they are, of course, beneficial for getting a closer view. So that bird that I have eyes on, but it's a little hard to, transfer over with the phone, you can get a closer view. We'll try and get a little bit closer to the red-winged blackbird. We have the male that's calling. We'll get a little bit closer, as close as we can, without losing cell phone service here. But there's the male calling in the tree. We see kind of that blackbird body with the dash of red and yellow on the shoulder, and that is the red-winged blackbird call that the male is doing right now. So that red-winged blackbird, they really like this section here on Indian Lake. The cattails, it's really brushy. There's loads of skunk cabbage. The males will arrive earlier than the females in spring so they can establish territories. And the males will perch rather high, as we see with this male here. Females like to hang low in the vegetation. But those males will spend a lot of time perched high calling for the females. And they'll spend a lot of their time kind of defending the territory that they've established here on the side of the lake. So they'll spend a quarter of their day chasing away other males, other birds of different species, sometimes small mammals, big mammals. So binoculars are a good thing to bring when you're birding. Looks like our male has moved from the tree, but I didn't have eyes on him, so I don't know where he went, but I'm sure we'll hear him again soon. But like I was saying before, binoculars are a good thing to bring if you have them while you're birding, just so you can get closer eyes on. A lot of binoculars have the neck strap, so you can kind of carry them easier. And then with our binoculars, you would adjust their settings, hold them up with your elbows tucked in. Don't have those airplane arms, okay, or else your arm's gonna get really tired a lot easier. But if you tuck your elbows in when you're viewing through your binoculars and kind of rest them against your chest, your arms won't get as tired. So there's a little binoculars tip for you. Another good thing to pack when you're going birding is a guide. Okay, so there's tons and tons of resources out there for bird guides. This is a golden guide. Really user-friendly, easy to read, big detailed pictures, basic information. Really kid-friendly too if you want to take your children out birding. But then of course, there's tons and tons of guide options. And don't feel like you need to buy a guide. You can find guides and print resources from the internet. You can also rent guides from the library, so don't feel like you need to go out and buy the resources. Check them out from your local library because they're there. But bird guides are a great thing to bring because really in Connecticut we have dozens and dozens of bird species. If you're looking for a particular species, you want to set yourself up for success. So if you're going birding, you at least want to know who you're looking out for and get in the relatively correct area. So I wanted to share the red-winged blackbird with you guys this morning. So I'm coming where they like to hang out, where they're often found in kind of this marshy, bushy section that we have here on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve. So when we're thinking of birds, and we'll try to find some other species here as we kind of tiptoe around the area. We have had some warblers come out. I heard brown-headed cowbird a little while ago. We'll try to make our way around and get eyes on our red-winged blackbird again. Oh, here we go. We've got someone here. We'll try to get a close look at him. Oh, we just started to fly. We'll try to follow him here. Alright, so we've got an underside view of the red-winged blackbird. That's another male calling, so we have a few males in this area. And we've got one right here in the branches. They've got a really stocky body, so when we're looking to ID birds, there's 4 key questions that we ask ourselves. First one being, what is the size and shape of the bird? So they're stocky. A lot of times the males will be kind of hunched on the branches, fanning out their tail. Okay, we had to move to a different spot real quick as I lost the internet connection. But as I was saying, our red-winged blackbirds, who we just heard calling in the background, they're stocky. A lot of times the males will perch. They love to perch. They'll fan out their tails a little bit as they're perched. They've got these nice pointed, straight beaks that they use to eat insects. A lot of times hanging out in the vegetation here, loads of insects down here. But they will also eat seeds. Let's see if we can get our eyes on another one. We hear some phoebes in the background. Phoebe. There's the red-winged blackbird. Male calling, we can hear it. Oh, I just saw two males leave the area, one chasing the other. So they are pretty territorial. Other things about the red-winged blackbird, so they're stocky color. The males are black. They are blackbird with that kind of shoulder patch that's red and yellow. Very, very vibrant. Kind of sticks out against the... Okay, we're back with the internet. Kind of have to find the perfect spot here on the trees. But our red-winged blackbird has that very vibrant, you can hear it again in the background, red and yellow shoulder patch. The females, however, look very, very different. The females are brown in color. So the females look totally different than the males. They don't have that vibrant, flashy color because they're not the ones doing the attracting. So the females will be brown, kind of a paler breast, paler brown, kind of this multi-brown color. Let's see, so we know where they like to hang out. They like to hang out by water, salt or fresh marshes, like the cattails, brush. They will find fields, crop fields, cornfields too. They are active during the day. And they really like to kind of perch up high. So the males will perch up high and the females will hang down low, kind of next to the water, as they like to look for insects to eat. Other kind of birds that we see a lot here on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve, as we're kind of next to it, are the yellow-bellied sapsuckers. So we don't have the yellow-bellied sapsucker bird with us, but we see evidence. We'll see evidence on the pine trees by various birds on when they drill in, making holes, looking for their food. So look for holes in the trees as evidence of birds. Look for nests in the trees before the trees totally become covered in leaves for the summer. But other than that, try and get out, grab a reference guide. You can rent one from your library. Don't feel like you have to buy one. If you don't have binoculars, that's okay. But try and get outside. You can do birding from anywhere, right outside your window, from inside, on your back porch, in your backyard, or your local open space. A great time to do birding, time during the day, is early morning. So a lot of birds are active early morning. Usually in the afternoon you won't have as many active birds. But usually, you know, when I get up early, we'll hear birds, you know, starting at 4 in the morning. And then obviously you wait for the sun to come out so you get a little bit more light to physically view the birds. But great time on the day to view birds is early morning. And this is kind of the perfect time of year to practice your skills because the trees have not yet become fully foliaged out. So if you're looking to practice your birding skills, thanks for bearing with us with the internet. It's a little windy here today. But I would recommend getting outside. This is the perfect time of year to do it. But thanks for joining me a little bit today on the Indian Rock Nature Preserve to talk about the red-winged blackbird and birding you can do right from your home. We're going to be back on the Environmental Learning Centers of Connecticut Facebook page next week on Tuesday at 10 a.m. for another Facebook Live. So thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next week.